Pause.
No, dude.
On that note, man, we back in this day, fellas. PIE, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. Props. It's beautiful, man. Bringing perspective to the nation. Episode 14. Y'all already know what's up, man.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, man.
Glad to be back. It's been a minute. I feel like a month since I've been back.
How has it been?
It feels like that.
Yeah.
It feels like that, yeah, for sure.
That's facts,
I've missed
man.
it for sure. Work be working. You know how that go.
Well, it's time to get to work, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. No, this week's topic is episode 14. So what does it take to have a successful relationship? Obviously, that's a very subjective thing. But we got 3 men here on the panel. We're going to, hey, Lee, I'm going to be honest, though. I'm going to pass it to you first. And you want to know why? I had to.
Bounce pass.
I had to, brother. Because you're the one of you're a married man, man. So you know that.
No, I am, though.
The high form.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's the pinnacle of a successful relationship.
Not necessarily. You can't. Just being married doesn't necessarily mean that anything, right? There's a lot of married people that are just in it just because situationally it's great. Financially it might be great. The kids might still be young. There's a lot of reasons that people are married or get married, For context, I know a lot of people that, the immediate thought after a kid is brought to this world on accident is to get married, which is not a wrong thought, but it doesn't necessarily mean you need to get married. That's just people's natural knee-jerk reactions, especially most men. Most men essentially want that dynamic and want it to be a household set up like that, in my honest opinion. They might not want to do the marriage thing, but they want that dynamic of a house, a home, and wife and kids and so on and so forth. But to answer your question, man, it's so multi-layered. To a successful relationship, marriage, partnership, to me, what makes a successful relationship or partnership, let's get out of marriage, is partnership, right? Is understanding the willingness to realize that you're wrong, women and men. Your perspective is important, and so is your partner's. I think that's one thing that's lost, especially when you throw a kid into the mix or children into the mix.
Yeah.
Is we all are so used to our partner giving us their all. Like I'm all their attention. I get all the love. I get all the time. I get all the gifts. I get all the hugs, the affection, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? We can get it in whatever we want to.
Yeah.
There's no disruption in that. You know what I mean? But especially when you bring a kid into the mix or children into the mix.
That's funny. That's what you was going. That alters that dynamic.
It's a real thing. And what a lot of people don't understand is, not even a lot of people, from a male's perspective, I think what happens in a relationship is when a woman has a baby, her whole life changes. The dynamic of who she is changes.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not properly communicated to the man about what that looks like and how to react or not react to in real time. You know what I mean? That's a real thing. And I think it's one of those things where women don't know what's going on. The man doesn't know what's going on. But in the man's eyes, hey, we still locked in.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. In the woman's eyes, it's like, bro, I done gained 50 pounds.
Yeah.
You get to leave every day. Granted, the man's working, but you get to leave every day.
You get a break from this.
You get a break from this. Even if you get a break from this to go do some physical work, physical labor, I have to mentally deal with the child for 12, 15 hours out the day. You know what I mean? And then when you come home, you want affection or attention or just whatever, or love or whatever it may be. I'm overstimulated. I'm going through my things as far as things I haven't dealt with mentally because of postpartum depression, which is so real in relationships. And I'm kind of narrowing it down, but I'm speaking to my understanding and my out view and my perspective on this. So there's a lot of that, like, hey, I got this going on, and you are just living your best life.
Yeah. Well, I want to say something. But that's going to guide us right into my main thing. When I think about it, at least for me personally, the person that I am, gender roles are extremely important, and I'm gonna tell you why. What you were just speaking to, everybody has an individual. They have their own individual desires in life, and in particular in relationships. But if you go into an actual relationship with some framework based in gender roles, I'm the man, now obviously not every relationship is not heterosexual, but nonetheless, it still applies. Because this means that
a masculine and a feminine
dynamic, it helps, I think, because I don't believe that both parties can sacrifice in the same way. in regards to, especially when you talk about the family dynamic. So somebody has to take the brunt of, okay, I'm more of this, you're more of that. And it just depends on what that looks like. But if you,
So sorry, the other part of what I was leaning into as well is people think that relationships are 50-50. Relationships are 60-40, 70-30 sometimes. What that means is, hey, sometimes I'm going to be the 60 and sometimes I'm going to be the 40, right? And that's for male and female.
Yeah.
Financially, a man isn't always in a position to provide. Sometimes a woman has to step up. In a household, the woman isn't always going to be able to do the cleaning at all times.
you a lie.
I mean, again, in today's world, most couples have to both work.
I like that though. Emphasis on, you're right, in today's world.
Today's world, that's not like 50 years ago, 60 years ago. Yeah, I mean, woman can stay at home and be with the kids and do that. That's a realistic thing.
But you don't think it's coincidence that now, factually speaking, marriages last, at least in this society, they don't last as long as they did at a certain earlier on, decades ago. You don't think it's coincidence that goes hand in hand with the fact that you had such defined roles. The women in let's not be naive. Women in the work,
it wasn't that. Well, let me not say it wasn't.
It
that.
was.
My personal belief is that 50, and we gotta let Tim in this conversation.
he know how to get in there. He gonna get in there.
50, 60 years ago, women didn't have a choice. If their husband stepped out or had a second family, that's just, it is what it was. Right?
Yeah.
There wasn't an option for a divorce.
Factual. But I'm about to say something. You're going to get pushback. I know.
Okay.
But I'm going to say something. I do believe too much choice is a real thing. I do believe that.
That's fine.
That's not basically a woman thing. That is a
I agree. I agree with that with the sense of, I think the idea, not even the idea, the reality that most men have too many options now, that takes away from being able to focus on your household and the woman that you're dealing with.
What you mean by too many options?
Instagram.
Social media.
Like,
I think women have a lot of options too, though.
I mean, true, but I'm speaking from a male perspective.
Okay.
Solely.
That's important because women do, but it's more important for men because if you're the type of man that's looking to figure out what it takes to hold down your household, your family, and the structure of what you're trying to do, too many distractions, that's going to affect us way more. If you're the leader of a household.
Exactly, yeah. And the reason I said men, because we already determined that women have more options when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
So that was the counter to that argument. But no, honestly, I really think people don't understand the reality of, like, hey, being in a relationship, a community relationship, in a partnership, it takes a certain amount of sacrifice and intention. What I mean by intention, sometimes you have to intentionally love somebody, intentionally say, hey, I'm not really feeling it, but I'm going to give you the affection you want.
You agree with that?
So again,
intention, like loving someone intentionally, like. It's almost duty.
It's a choice.
You're speaking to duty at that point.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, because you made a commitment to somebody. Hey, we're locked in, right? Under the guise of, if you believe in God,
I do believe love is a conscious decision every day. It's a choice that you have to make every single day. Like
100%.
Choosing to be with that person.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can wake up one day and you're like, you know what, man, fuck this.
100%. It's easy
kids,
to do
fuck everybody. I'm gone. You can do that, but you have to make that conscious decision to continue to move on with what y'all already established prior.
Yes, 100%. And it also is about redefining those roles as well and where you are in a relationship. Like where you were 5, 10, 15, 5 minutes ago probably is not going to be where you're going to be in 5, 10, 15 years in the future. You know what I mean? Like, things change. People evolve into different versions of themselves. Mm-hmm. You know, still the same person, but you're just a different version of who you were in the past. Mm-hmm. And with that, you've got to make the adjustment as a person. You've got to accept the fact that either you got to, your partner has to grow with you, or choose to grow with you, or choose to grow without you. And I think a lot of people choose to grow without that person, you know what I mean? Either they don't like the idea of that, or it's like, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. Or some people like, hey, I want you to stay the same. You know what I mean? That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I married you like this, or I got with you because you were thick, and you're doing this,
That's why it's important to date, man, before you just jump into. I learned how to date.
So,
I learned how to date.
I still don't believe in dating.
You don't believe in dating?
I don't believe in dating. I believe in building a friendship with somebody, a relationship.
That's when you built the friendship through the dating process.
So my thought process was dating is like, not Kevin Hart, but Chris Rock said when one of his specials, I can't remember, when you're dating somebody, you're meeting their representative.
So they're putting their best foot forward, right? You're not really meeting who that person really is until they really get settled in with you. And sometimes that's months, a year or two down the line. When you're somebody's friend, you see them in a certain fashion that you wouldn't see them if they're dating somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And when I say by being somebody's friend, I mean like, hey, I don't want to I don't want to put anything on this. I don't even want to say it's dating. I want to get to know you. I want to build with you in a friendship type vibe. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I believe that's the course of action. Because I think when people attach dating to it, there's certain expectations that come with dating. Hey, by this time we need to do this. By this time we need to do that. You know what I mean? Even a man or a woman, hey, what are we?
Yeah.
Conversations start to happen where it's like, hey, I thought we were just building. And I'm not saying that to be a player. I know it comes off as that, like, but that's really what I believe. I'm serious. I know that's how some people hear it. Like, hey, we're just building. What do you mean? What are we? That's a real thing. We're building. Let's build on that.
Okay.
But in the process of dating, this is how I look at it. In the process of dating, like you said, I never put a label on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you're dating a woman, that's your time to get all the information and learn all about this woman through the seasons. Like, I don't go into it like, oh, I'm going to date her for a few weeks. I'm going to learn everything I need to know about her. No, I'm going to drag it out a little bit. I'm not trying to rush into a relationship. See, me before that, I was rushing into relationships. I'm like, oh, I like her. The sex good. She treat me just right. But you got to understand there's more to it. Like, that's our representative, like you said. So I learned to take it a step farther and just drag it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Don't rush into that title.
Y'all got some interesting perspectives, man.
Yeah, like I ain't trying to like just, oh, you my girl, woo, woo, woo. I
And
want to see how you move.
being open too, being open to explaining that to the person. A lot of men do that, but don't say anything.
Yeah,
they just pull women along, which I don't rock with. I've never been a guy who condone exaggerating or lying. I just not saying it's wrong. I just don't do it.
Honesty is the key, man.
You'll get way more opportunities.
Yeah, she'll still a woman would still fuck with you if you being honest. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm fucking other women.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They still will fuck, if not more.
100%.
And make them kind of want you a little bit more. It's weird.
100%, because they
it's
don't
weird.
get that. That's to me, that was. I discovered that very early in life. Just to be completely honest, one, because I was very blunt at an early age, so I was forced to learn it sooner than later. And then in learning that, I realized that, oh wow, this is the way to go. One, it's like where I'm comfortable.
You look like you used to tell a girl, I really don't like you, and she'd be like, so
100%.
we still going on this date.
100%. I wouldn't even say I don't like it. Just like, hey, you know what I'm here for. Yeah. like I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I'm just not on that type of time. And there's been times where there's been women who weren't with that, and I respect it. Guess what? I kept it moving.
Yeah.
I kept it moving because
smart.
guess what? This what did Gucci say? Every 15 minutes, another one coming. Like I can't remember the song. Break Up.
I thought it was the other one.
Oh,
Somebody bitch getting fucked this evening.
No. But no, it's just there's too many different options. And not currently for me, but just there were too many different options in general for me to focus on. 100%. You can't.
It's good that he can speak from both sides though.
Yeah, you got to be able to have this conversation. You got to see both sides. You know what I mean? You got to see, at least for my opinion. Like, I don't want to be the guy that's like, nah, man, I was there at one point in life. I'm not there.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Lee. I don't know too many like friends, homies that's actually married and like the same age as me. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to see someone, my age and that's actually married and actually doing it and living in real time doing it. So
well, I'll say this,
that's
man.
all to you.
I mean, man, I'll say this, just being honest. It's not something that I recommend for most people to do earlier.
Say
right?
that.
Because I say this. One, I've always been a very just overall mature dude, right? Compared to my peers, like I always move differently. You know what I mean? Like like you know what I mean. So there's things that if I was a different person going through what I went through in my marriage and my relationship with my wife, I can see another person not sticking through it because they're not emotionally ready for that. You know what I mean? I think because a lot of the things that need to be addressed as far as some disconnections in my relationship, I as a man had to take ownership of some things and sit with that and then address it. You know what I mean?
So
most men won't do that at an early age.
Well, that's a deeper issue that should be addressed. It's like why most men don't put at the forefront because even with my girl right now, one of the core movers of how we actually, and I'll be honest with you, bro, she actually reinforces this probably more than me, and it allows me to blossom more so into the man I want to be for her because her biggest thing is work it out no matter what we go through. people have gotten away from that. It's like there's outlets to where
100%.
I don't have to work it out. But it's like, what if those outlets were there? No matter who you really end up with, man, who the person is don't matter. It's just being committed to the
100%.
It's just being committed to the,
100%.
to the institution.
I agree. You know, that's a great point that you said is it doesn't matter, we need to work it out, because that's essentially what you had to do 50, 60 years ago. There was no other option, right? For men, it kind of was, but even then, it's kind of like it's not the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, a man don't take care of his family, you know.
Yeah.
What kind of man are you, essentially? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that.
So yeah, we're making a groundswell movement to bring back the entity of duty to relationships, man.
100%.
Everything doesn't revolve around what makes you feel good, instant gratification.
Yeah, and it's not.
And my nature is to be that way. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a selfish cat by nature.
All of us
bro.
are.
Yeah.
I think most humans operate that way, instant gratification. Like, just, and I think a lot of it has to do with social media too. Like, it's just that, like, the scrolling aspect, social media is so much instant gratification. It's so much like, hey, I'm successful. And if you scroll enough of that and you feed that into your brain, it's a lot of dopamine that you're taking in. You think you need to go do that, or you need to have that tomorrow, not realizing that this person you've seen been putting in work for 15 years.
I do want to say something too while it's fresh on my mind too.
Facts.
Like, when you're in these relationships and even in marriage, love is cool, but don't get so caught up in love that you forget to be, and I'm speaking to the man, don't forget to be that man that she fell in love with. You got to think about this,
100%.
like, who were you when she met you? Nigga, you was, we'll just say you was about 190, and now you 500 pounds. You know what I'm saying? You're not working out. You're not thriving, and you're not being that man that she signed up to be. Of course, she looking at you different. And also, don't forget to date. Don't forget to date. I feel like me
facts.
being in a serious relationship back in the day, that was one of my things. I forgot to date my woman, and I feel like that's real important for y'all to have that me time. You know, get that intimacy going. You know, that's very important.
One of my bros, he said this to a buddy of ours, a mutual friend of ours, before I was married, and it always stuck with me. It sticks with me to this day. He says, "Don't forget to date your wife." Like that phrasing, and it sticks with me to this. And I will say this: dating your wife doesn't mean a physical go out, go to a movie, sometimes it's just like, hey, you know, we got 30 minutes. Let me be really intentional about, hey, how are you? Let me love on you. Let me ask you about your day.
I'm gonna take it
stuff like that.
Step further for you. I'm gonna help you out because I know you're in a marriage. They love to see us just playing something. Just
100%.
plan it.
100%.
Hey, babe,
100%.
meet me here, boom, boom, this time, doing.
My wife don't, but you're right. Women do. My wife be like, nah.
Oh, she don't like surprises?
No, she
still
just needs a lot of she needs a lot of prep time.
Okay.
Not need. Let me not say needs, but she prefers a lot of prep time.
What do you mean?
Like
makeup and stuff?
No. God no. She don't rock her makeup, just from a sense of like she'll overthink a situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
okay.
So for example, like we just did something. My daughter, she loves Polar Express.
Okay.
And I took her
the film? On the movie?
The film, yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
It's a great film. Funny enough, that's my father's favorite Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And we used to watch it all the time as kids. My daughter watched it with him the first time, and ever since she watched it with him, she watched it at least 3 times a week. No exaggeration. It's been a year. So they had something in North Carolina, and I knew my daughter would love it, but I knew my wife would love it even more. Right? And it was like about a month ago, but we went 2 weeks ago, but I think I booked it about a month ago or something like that. And I wanted to wait till like the week before or the week of to do it, but I was like, nah, I know my wife. She have to know. Yeah, she got to know. She you know what I mean? She's going to be like, you know, I got to, even if there's nothing be a thing.
She go with the flow, but she got to know what the flow is going.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Which is something that I've had to learn to appreciate because I like surprises. Like, that's like my thing. Like, I love surprises. Yeah. Like, my wife, she does, but she doesn't, if that makes sense. Like, she can appreciate them, but it makes her uneasy because she's unaware of what's going on.
Do she surprise you?
Yes, she's caught me off guard a couple times.
That's what's up.
I ain't gonna lie, it's a couple times.
She started smiling when you said
that. Yeah. There's one that I never forget, but yeah, a couple times for sure.
That's what's up, man.
We're gonna start to wrap it up. I got my final thoughts on this. The reason I say, for the most part, gender roles is I've studied a lot of things, man. Like my experiences, others, and I say, you know what? The way I look at it, because you're right, all humans evolve into different versions of ourselves. So in the process of doing that, we all do, even if we don't know how to admit it, desire a framework for how to get down. It's almost like it's like a company, right? Mm-hmm. The model employee for a company is usually universal across the board. Be on time, hard working, this, that, and the third. What isn't across the board is the mission statement. If you are in a relationship and you just know what you expect from your partner, male or female, that's going to help so much. 100%. It's going to give you some guide rails.
Agreed.
You understand what I mean? Like,
100%.
No matter how far I go off the course, I can only go within these parameters. You know what I mean? That's just my thoughts on that, though.
You're good. I guess what I'll close with, as far as my perspective, is effective communication. Like, not just communicating, but effectively communicating. Like, listening, hearing what they're saying, and then them hearing what you're saying. Being intentional. Like, that's real. Like, when I say being intentional, you really got to be intentional with everything you do with your relationship. It's even the small things, even your body language, even how you respond. You know what I mean? How you show up at home. You know what I mean? How you show up to an event to support them. You've got to be extremely intentional.
Okay.
And the last thing I would say is never forget that you guys are a team.
Yeah.
You're working collectively together to reach whatever goal that you guys have set forth.
Yeah.
To me, those are very important.
I would say, for me, is to grow and evolve together. Because I would say, like, for me, I found myself outgrowing someone. So instead of outgrowing that person, grow with that person. Like you said, and that's going to come with communication and letting your spouse be aware of your growth, letting them know.
I wouldn't even say outgrow. I would say grow in a different direction, and that happens.
You're right. Different direction.
Different direction. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that happens with family.
But sometimes you don't let your partner know that you're going in a different direction. And I think
sometimes you don't know.
You're not even aware.
So sometimes you don't even know. You're right.
I ain't never think about that.
Yeah. Sometimes you moving in a different way, and it just hits you differently. It don't hit you till you reflect back to you, like, you know what, you said it yourself. Like a guy, you not being the same person that you were when you initially were there.
Bro, and that's why I say,
it makes sense.
I'm a weird dude, but that's why it harkens back to communication, because, man, I'm a weird dude, bro. I'll tell my girl, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was at work and such was just look good today. It's a little twisted, right? But you'll be surprised that I'm a believer in this. Most women are actually hardwired to entertain polygamy. All women actually believe are hardwired. It's just a matter of our environment does kind of it promotes being more 50-50 in regards to like how men and women kind of, well, we're not going to put up with this. But if you can get to the point where you can really be, at least verbally, I can communicate my evil with my girl. What I mean by that is my most inner dark thoughts, the whole nine. That allows for her that gives her something to,
It allows her to communicate her evil with you a little bit too. And let you know how she really thinks.
Yeah, exactly. And you have something a lot more authentic that can stand the test of time. Because at that point, we're not even pretending. It's like, this is what it is.
Because your girl can find somebody attractive and she wouldn't even tell you.
She wouldn't.
Because she afraid of what you would think. She don't mind till she not like, you know what I'm saying? But she don't want you to freak out. Damn, what you trying to say? He look better than me?
And what's funny is I wouldn't freak out, but she knows me well enough to know, like, I do have my strong stances on certain things. But I do get a different side of her. I do get certain things she tell me she would not tell another soul on this planet.
That's what's up.
You know what I mean? And that's what's important. It's like just having that open window to be able to communicate
I agree.
who you actually are.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
agree.
I mean? That helps. It's communication, like I said. Communication, respect, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. We're working with 3 minutes left. I'm gonna ask this on my phone. I didn't even get to this last one. Oh, so real quick, y'all have close ones, people that you are endeared to. You see them going through relationship issues, because even, I guess it will also depend on how close I am with the person. But basically, how do you distinguish between, all right, they need to experience this because it's something that's going to help them grow into who they're meant to be, versus I want to help them, so I'm going to tell them either settle down or put up with that, this, that, and the third. Granted, it's nuanced, it's layered, but more times than not, I actually find myself realizing, they need to experience this, man. It's like this is kind of going south, but truth be told, they're going to actually be better overall individually from having experienced all of these negative things with this person. You know what I mean? Oh, he cheated. Oh, he did it.
And sometimes even if you do tell them, they probably wouldn't even hear you right then in that moment. Because there have been times I've been deep in my relationship, and people was giving me warnings and telling me. I heard him, but I didn't hear him.
Yeah.
And then once I was done with that relationship, I go back to that same person. Man, why didn't you tell me? He like, nigga, I did tell you.
So I think both are true. I think people need time when it comes to that, and not time. People need to experience that, but there's times when you need to step in. The key is understanding which one is which. And to me, the best way to understand which one is which, at least how I move now, because I used to be a person that just offered information if I felt like you wanted my advice. Now I just listen intentionally to what somebody's talking to me, right? Like you can hear when somebody's looking for help, advice. You know what I mean? You can hear their conversation. Or if you can't hear it, you can direct them to where you can open that conversation.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, guide them through it. You know that they're gonna go through that storm, but like,
100%.
I give you an umbrella in the boat.
Exactly. It's gonna happen.
You'll make it out alive.
Yeah. You might drown, but hey, so you don't drown. Let's walk towards this. Let's walk towards this boat.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the realm I go towards, because there are some things that some people just gotta learn. That's just the reality. Like I'll say for me, there's times where I had signs in situationships or relationships, whatever it was, and I'm serious, and I wasn't honest with myself, but I knew there was something off, but I wasn't honest with myself. And then once everything hit the fan, I was like, you know what? I'm never not going to be honest with myself about that again. You know what I mean? Like I've got to be because again, you know when something's off. You don't necessarily know what it is or what's going on, but something's off. Something's like disconnecting, whatever.
Can I speak on that for a second? I will say this about your intuition, your gut feeling, your higher self, your higher consciousness, whatever you want to call it. God, listen to that, man. It may hurt. It may be you might feel like it's the end of the world. You may feel like you're going to die, but listen to it. Even the relationships that I'm not in to this day, like, I don't regret it because it made me who I am today. Like, if something don't work out, it's a reason why it didn't work out.
100%.
God could be saving you from a heartbreak, something that could have killed you later on if you would have stayed in it, you know? So, to this day, I'm grateful for it.
Oh, shoot. A little timer. We good.
Oh, you got a timer on that?
Yeah. What did I put on? Oh, but it was only 30 minutes, though. Yeah, no, on the so to wrap that up, I believe you. I agree with you. I think that's operating from a faith-based experience, period. Yeah. It's like you just understanding that even trials and tribulations, it's hard to see it in real time, but I would tell people this, man. I don't have no regrets in life, none. Even when I try, I be thinking back, I was like, you see how much you develop.
You should have cut your hair sooner.
Got him.
I love you.
And I fuck with that shirt.
You don't know nothing about Naruto, man. Hey, screw you, bro. He talking crazy. Nah, I know. It's rough.
Oh, boy, you know, I love you, man. That was just too easy.
Oh man. But shit, we Gucci, man.
Yeah. That's when they first went.